how is the cost of living compared to Nigeria?
Okay, cost of living, I will share my observation. I think to a good extent it's cheaper to feed and live here. Perhaps a major difference is in terms of the marriage setting. In Nigeria, people usually, majority will get married before they start living with the people. Here, I mean, you can already have somebody staying together and they already start calling themselves husband and wife.
Can you tell us your name and what you do for a living?
Okay, my name is Deji Aregbeshola, and I'm a missionary, I'm a minister. I teach people the Bible, I preach God's word for a living.
Oh, that's really interesting. How long have you been here?
I have been here for 2 years now, just over 2 years. Yeah, 2022, July is when we landed Kampala, my wife and I. Yeah.
Okay. What brought you to Uganda?
Actually, I came here on a specific mission. Like I said, I'm a missionary. So I came here to teach people God's word. Specifically because sadly I found that a lot of people who are of the faith, maybe Christians, whatever, don't actually pay attention to what's written in the Bible. And I myself, I was like that. It's very sad. For many years I used to go to church thinking I was okay. The life I was living was not in line with God's word. What transformed my life was somebody sitting down with me. Actually, I was a student in the UK. Someone met me and talked to me and said, "Hey, come, let's study the Bible." Honestly, I initially said, "Hey, I'm not interested. I already go to church." But then God had mercy. I chose to humble myself. And I said, "Okay, let me even listen to what these guys are saying." And then they helped me see that, look, it's not about claiming a religion. It's actually about obedience. What God desires is obedience. So they studied the Bible with me. I saw I was not a Christian according to the Bible. Even though by name and by action, by the life I was living, I thought I was Christian, but I wasn't living the life God wanted. God had mercy. God trained my life. That was 2016. And 2016, finished my studies there in the UK, went back to Nigeria, my country, by the way, I didn't mention that earlier. And afterwards, it's just been amazing because I saw the need for people, especially we Africa, we're very religious. I left Nigeria as a student thinking, we're okay in our country. But coming back, I realized that, man, even though we're very religious, we're very lost. So the real difference is really putting God's word to practice. And that's why I'm here in Kampala. That's why I'm here in Uganda, to teach people God's word, to call people on a personal basis, to call them to obedience. Not just to have head knowledge, but to actually put God's word to practice. So that's really why I'm here. Thank you for asking.
Okay, that's really interesting. I really like that. Okay, you say you have been living in the UK. How long have you been in the UK?
Well, I was in the UK from 2011 to 2018. So 2011 September, I went as a student, young student, and then I stayed there for 7 years and then went back to Nigeria in 2018. Specifically, I landed back in Lagos February 1st, 2018.
And how was life in the UK?
Well, life in the UK was interesting. I would say I enjoyed my time there. Different climates, different people, different culture compared to Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria where I grew up. I think one thing that stood out to me is the courtesy. People in the UK are very courteous. So, oh please, sorry, very, very cultured, So I really loved that. Well, it's also...
Would you like to study in Uganda or visit Uganda or do business in Uganda? Budae Business Solution, it's a company located in Uganda. They help business relocation to Uganda and mobilize international students to join Uganda universities and learn the institution. They have airline ticketing, visa handling for different countries, car rentals, airport pickup, hotel booking, meet and greet. You want to come to Uganda and you need the support? Please check out Budae Business Solution for better services in Uganda.
It's more or less like a secular environment, so not a lot of people are really religious. So being there, for me as a person, I kind of moved. Initially, the first 5 years, I was really mostly with people of my own country. It was in the last 2 years, after someone studied the Bible with me, I was really actually exposed to other cultures. Because London, where I stay, was very cosmopolitan. You meet people from, almost any country in the world were there. So, but the courtesy, that's one of the things I love about the UK. compared to my own country, Nigeria. So,
Wow.
yeah.
And how long have you been here in Uganda?
Here in Uganda, 2 years.
2 years now here in Uganda. How is life in Uganda compared back home to Nigeria?
Life in Uganda compared to Nigeria.
Be looking in front of the camera.
Oh yeah, that's true. Life in Uganda compared to Nigeria. It's a tough question to answer, honestly, because Uganda is a large country. Nigeria is also very large. So I've mostly been here in Kampala, and I've also mostly been in Lagos. So if I compare that, just to make my comparison easier, I would say Kampala, people are a lot more kind, a lot more calm than Lagosians, than Lagos. Lagos is very fast paced. People can be very on the move, on the go, and people can be opportunistic as well. I mean, anywhere in the world, but much more. And also a little rude, I'll be honest, compared to people here. People here mostly will be kind, People here, my observation in Uganda, people will avoid conflict. Lagosians will be on it on the conflicts, like, hey, you come here, hey, what's up? So I think that's one of the main differences.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
And how is the food compared to the Nigerian food?
Food. I think I'll give it like thumbs up to Nigerian food. Like, you can't compare. The food there is awesome. You can't compare Ugandan food to Nigerian food, like anytime, any day. But I think major difference, Nigerians, or should I say more Lagosians, southwest part of Nigeria, we use a lot more spice, a lot more pepper. Ugandans don't really use pepper, so my wife actually cooks Nigerian food, so also some Ugandan food. So main difference, pepper. Also, we have a lot more variety of vegetables there. Different. Shoko, edikaiko. Here, it's the vegetable meal is not as varied. So food. I think there's a lot more variety as well of food in Nigeria than I've observed here. So, and then I think the last thing is here, people eat all foods. Yep. All foods with beans, all food with this. But there in Nigeria, you maybe special, rice. Max, rice and beans. We don't do beans, posho, and then you put cassava. No, we don't do that. It's just, we focus on the food and then the stew or the soup on the side. So I think those are the main differences. Yeah.
Okay,
thanks for asking.
Yeah, sure. What is the differences or the similarities you have found in the culture?
Okay, I think in terms of similarities, both cultures value family. I mean, from my observation, being in Nigeria, being here in Kampala, Uganda. Ugandans are very family oriented. Nigerians are also very family oriented. I think difference is perhaps a major difference is in terms of the marriage setting. In Nigeria, people usually, majority get married before they start living with the people. But here, you can already have somebody staying together and they already start calling themselves husband and wife before they've even done any marital right at all. So I think that's a major one. Also, Nigeria is very paternal. So parents, fathers are usually there. You have, even when the marriage is struggling, the dads are usually in the picture in the house. Here, unfortunately, it's a sad reality, and that's why we're studying the Bible with people to help more people. Sad reality is that a lot of fathers are absent. You see a lot of homes where there's no dad. You meet a lot of people where the father is just doing one thing or the father is in another house. There's not that fatherly presence, which is a sad thing. That's one of the things we need to deal with in the culture here. Yeah, thanks for asking.
What do you enjoy mostly here in Uganda?
What I enjoy the most, I think it's the weather and the fruits. Fruits here is awesome. Variety of fruits, it's amazing. I have never had passion fruits until I came here to Uganda, and I think the weather here is cooler compared to Lagos, Nigeria. So I actually enjoy the weather. Even when it's hot here, it's not as hot and humid as my country. So yeah.
Okay, can we talk about the cost of living? How is the cost of living compared to Nigeria?
Okay, cost of living. I will share my observation. I think to a good extent it's cheaper to feed and live here in Kampala, and I mean Kampala is perhaps the most expensive city in Uganda and whole of Uganda compared to Lagos, Nigeria. For example, in Nigeria, in Lagos, you pay your rent yearly. So that's huge. You have to save up. Sometimes some people can't even afford it. But here you pay your rent, majority pay monthly. In fact, some places they may even bring it down to daily, depending on the place. So that helps a lot. I mean, imagine you have to pay, say, 2 million. You have to be looking for 2 million for rent, compared to, say, if you have to pay 500k or you have to pay 300k every month. So it's more manageable. Food is cheaper here. My wife and I recently visited Nigeria. We went for a conference, a church conference, and just seeing things in Lagos are a lot more expensive. The economy is going through a tough time in Lagos, so it makes things even more expensive. A few tomatoes that you buy here for 1k, in my country, it's equivalent of, say, 5k or more. So it's, I would say living here is cheaper than Nigeria. Even fuel, I mean, fuel is a lot more expensive there than here. So that's my thought on it.
Do you live here with the family?
Yes. So
Here with the family.
yes. The family, my family right now consists of my wife and I. So yeah.
Okay, that's really interesting. So now my last question is, I know you have experience here in Uganda. Which message do you have for other foreigners who want to visit the Pearl of Africa?
Thank you for asking. I think for other foreigners who want to visit the Pearl of Africa, I would say, come. It's fun here. The people are nice, and enjoy the fruits. Enjoy the mangoes, those big mangoes. Enjoy the passion fruits, and just eat a lot of fruits. I think that's one of the big things I have observed here. Thanks for asking.
Thank you so much, guys, for watching. This is the end of this video, and thank you so much for Budai Travel Solution to sponsor this part of this video. Thank you so much, and see you in the next one.